Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's webinar. And what is BaseCamp? My name is Tim Cusick. I'm one of the head coaches here at BaseCamp, and this is my partner, Namrita Brooke, who's the other head coach at BaseCamp. Hi, Namrita.
Hey everyone, good to see you.
Namrita has a little cold tonight, so I want you to say it
Oh, we
once.
heard. Yeah, you told everyone.
Um, so I'm not allowed to make fun of her cold sound, so I'm going to get it out of the way right now. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. What our overarching goal is, we're going to take you through some of the highlights of what Basecamp is. We're going to try to do that reasonably quickly in a somewhat interactive way, where we find the real uh, effectiveness of this meeting is in the Q&A. So we're going to try to get to that question and answer period. Now, there's two ways you can communicate with us. If you push your chat button here, down in the bottom bar, it's probably on the bottom of your screen. This will launch a chat box somewhere. It might be on the right hand of your screen, depending on how you have your Zoom set up. Please set that to everyone. It probably right now says panelists, but it will say, if you click everyone, then everyone can see your chat. As we go through things, if you have questions, chat is just for messages and little hellos and things like that. If you have a question, put it in the Q&A. So just click the Q&A box and a little question box will open up. And the reason we do that is the Q&A box keeps things in a nice order. We know when we answer them. The chat box is more chaotic and hectic just for, chit chat. The Q&A box kind of queues them up in order and lets us get to them. All right, let's jump right in. One of the things that we've noticed over the years, and I see this all the time, and it's funny, I was doing a podcast with some folks from the Escape Collective, and Ronan, the podcast host, actually said this, and I was like, oh my God, we use this all the time. Every winter, we dream of the perfect summer performance. And then we do our stuff in the winter and we get into the summer. And what do we start doing in the summer? We dream of what we're going to do better next winter. And that really is a cycle that a lot of us get caught in because we see this ongoing desire. Maybe something goes wrong in our base training or in our training as a whole. Maybe we're looking for better performance. Maybe that we have a little racer or event or fitness regret. I wish I would have done that in the winter. And the reality is, this is actually a pretty good process for consideration because most athletes don't quite understand how important that winter foundation, that base phase of training or foundation phase of training is. And I will tell you right now, and we can talk more about it later, it is the key to all your success. I think most of the people become overly focused on the concept of like performance training, getting ready those last couple of weeks before you do your big event or race, doing really hard work. That really doesn't improve your fitness like you think. It's this winter based training that matters. But we have kind of a problem, right? Winter training is hard. The weather here in North America for most of us isn't very cooperative. A lot of times in winter training, we see less structure. People tend to think if I just jump on and ride, I have some form of optimized training or I'm going to do fine. And they actually don't really have a focus or an objective or process goals or other things that keep them rolling. And this usually leads to low motivation and results. So we kind of work our way through the winter, but we don't accomplish all the things we want to accomplish in our base training because we lack that motivation, focus, and focus, stop, a good structured plan, and things like that. Now, that's where we come in. Basecamp Train Where You Belong in our winter program is a group coaching program that is the bridge from struggle to success. I actually really like that statement because we can validate that's exactly what it is, which is pretty cool. So when we begin to think about this concept, we have to start with the fundamentals. What is group coaching? Namrita, what is group coaching?
Yeah, so the key to how group coaching works, I guess, is in the components and how they're blended together and led by a team of experts. And we have the group, so you are part of the group who is being coached and interacting. You are the community, but we also have a group and a team of these expert coaches. So the way that these components are blended together, you have this community of athletes, of coaches together. You have the structured training, and the clarity comes from the education and the learning that is shared amongst the group, so amongst all of you, but also coming from this expert team of coaches. You have the motivation and fun that is a big component of the program, and something different that is in group coaching that's not with one-on-one coaching or solo training. And then you have this 360-degree coaching approach, which we are going to explain in more detail later. Next slide. So one of the reasons we have such a high return rate of athletes in group coaching is that you get better results, and then with the group and training with the group and with the team of coaches compared to if you were to train alone. So not just during the program, but like Tim said, all next year, all next season. So it really lasts. The fitness and the things that you learn in group coaching over the winter will carry you through your upcoming season and the following year. And we have data, we have evidence that shows that compliance to training, compliance to your workouts, this is the key to consistency. It improves 26% in a group coaching program compared to training by yourself. Adhering to a training program, so structured training, improves up to 70%. That is huge if you think about it. You spend all these hours doing a training program. There's so many things, so many hurdles and barriers and things that can get in the way. You don't see those as much, or you're able to overcome those for many reasons when you are training as part of a group. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. And we link the actual research in here you can look at, and you're certainly welcome to lead it, but we also just know it. I will tell you from coaching over 20 plus years, we're going to go a little bit into our resume here shortly. It really, your ability to be consistent and to execute workouts is the secret. It's not some fancy secret training plan and all this other stuff you might read about on the internet. Your ability to be consistent and just do the work really is the key. Doing that in a motivating group environment really was our whole purpose for starting BaseCamp group coaching and making it work. So it really is great to see out some research out there, but we kind of already knew it. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the BaseCamp difference. So many people are familiar with coaching and maybe they understand a training plan, but what is group coaching? What is this? Well, as Namrita just kind of defined group coaching, what do we end up bringing in? Like, what are the deliverables that make this so different, unique, and better, in our opinion? One is expert coaching access. I'm going to talk a little bit about the leadership team's bio in the next slide. But one of the reasons I started, my wife and I, who's on this call, Kathy Watts and I started BaseCamp, I don't know, 15 years ago when we started the company. And the vision was I was doing a lot of work at the world tour level, traveling with teams, coaching professional athletes. And I noticed there was this wall around all the great information and what research was happening out there and what these teams were doing. And I really just wanted to bring it more to the everyday riders and not have it be so aloof, might be the right word. And the idea of what we wanted to do in this group coaching format was to be able to bring this expert level guidance, share this knowledge, but find it in a way to do it that was scalable, that could serve a larger population. So as we work as a community, we deliver 360-degree optimized training. And I'm going to give you exactly the definition of optimized here shortly. It happens in a supporting and motivating community. The slide we just showed you, it's effective because you're training with people. And that gives a certain motivation of fun and energy, but also it has a little accountability, right? You have to show up when everybody's showing up. It's part of the game. You just feel more accountable to them. And finally, this program is not a canned plan. Like you have all the benefits I just went over. You get expert coaching and one-on-one coaching, but really the idea of what you get is it isn't a training plan either. It is really this interactive process, this optimized training approach that's flexible and scaled to you, your fitness, your goals, your athletic maturity, and more. So let's talk about the four. We have a total of 14 coaches. There's 10 support coaches and the four of us that you see here on the screen, Nemrita and I you see in person, that lead the group. If you look, I'm not going to read our resumes and stuff like that, but between us, we have multiple world and national professional championships. We've coached in multiple Olympics. We have a PhD. We have 3 books, 2 bestsellers, and pretty much are some of the recognized leaders in this field. I handle a lot of your training. We're going to talk about this in a little more. Namrita is not only a coach, but she also is our PhD exercise physiologist and our nutrition program leader. Menachem Brody is our strength leader, and Carrie Jackson is our mental performance leader. So now you might be saying, well, gee, why different leaders? Why do you have these categorical? And there's 10 other coaches. I should have put that on the slide. We have 10 of our standard. We have over 30 coaches in BaseCamp. 10 of them participate and support the BaseCamp program. More at times, but 10 officially. So what does all this mean? Why do we block it out like that? Well, we wanted to take this idea of training and develop a performance ecosystem, a place that we can optimize our training, maximize your time, and get the best results for what you're putting into the program. And this is like winter training. This is where your future is built. This is the time you want to have the diligence and be attentive to all the things we're about to talk about. What does that mean? Our core training plan is multifaceted. We have a training on the bike training, your endurance training, right? We have training on the bike. We have strength training. We have nutritional training, support and program, and we have mental performance training. We make these 4 key elements to success work together in a structured way, and we're going to demo that and show it in a structured way, integrated. So the training that you're doing matches up with your nutrition. Namrita is going to teach you how to fuel for the training. And the strength program supports your on the bike training, and nutrition teaches us how to fuel for both of those. Mental performance makes us better at training and then carrying that into performance. That's the multifaceted approach. And as you can see by the leadership team, it's all guided by categorical and industry experts. So let's break this down a little bit. I'll tackle the training elements. I write all the training plans and how this works. All the training plans that are utilized within the BaseCamp group coaching program, they're built on the concept of progressive load and overload. The core focus in this time is aerobic fitness, even though, don't get me wrong, we do some intensity. Everybody's like, well, we just riding our bike. No, we do a lot of workout, a lot of moderate work, a lot of neuromuscular manipulation, a lot of intensive aerobic development, and things like that in the program. And we're working on aerobic fitness and muscular endurance. We do follow a periodized sequence since the program is 16 weeks. Which is funny. I could have put that on the main slide. 16 weeks of training, 4-4-week cycles. It is periodized so that it progresses over the cycles. Training impact and load goes up over all the cycles. And the output goal is that we build a very deep foundation, a highly durable athlete. We push peak powers forward. And when you come out in the spring, you're ready for performance. Like maybe not fully peak and on if you're a hardcore racer, but if you're an event doer, fitness performance, stuff like that, you're pretty much a couple of weeks away from being on peak. That blends with nutrition, which is Namrita's field.
Can I add one point to what you just said about training?
Sure.
That I think is important because a lot of you are new and you're coming here because you've heard of it, but you might have worked with a different coach or maybe you're super into nerding out on training and different strategies, and you listen to a bunch of podcasts, and you have questions about training philosophies and this progressive, the purpose of each cycle and how it all works together. Well, we are very transparent, and one of our goals is to teach you the why behind the training. So we have a philosophy, but if you've come to our group rides on Tuesday and Thursday in the past, you know that we are always sharing the why behind the workout. That makes you a more knowledgeable, more powerful athlete. And we encourage the questions and the dialogue. It's fun for us. It's fun for other people to learn. And, ultimately, you are better for it. So that's all I wanted to add.
Excellent point. And we have it on a slide later, but everybody, we train right along with you. Rita and I lead rides. We ride. We do the same training plans you're going through. We do. So we're going through what you're going through. So we're there for you.
So yeah, now on to nutrition. Well, if you want to get the most out of your training and the most out of your performance down the road, you've got to embrace fueling for the work that you're doing. So not just during, but throughout the day, before, and particularly after the training, so you can recover and adapt and move through these training cycles and actually attain the full benefit of it. So in the program, I teach you, the way I've always done it is this practical and applied approach. So I'm not just throwing a bunch of content out there. I am helping you to learn and apply it to your training. So applied fueling and nutrition guidance. And it is all, again, integrated with the training plan. So the training plan is the core with the strength, and the nutrition that we are discussing and how to apply it is fully integrated into the work that you're doing. Doesn't matter what plan you're on. We use this app that is included in your membership here. It's called Hexus, but it does take into account your specific workout, the duration, the intensity, all of that. So it is truly individualized to you and your training and your goals. And part of the coaching that I give you throughout the program is I'm giving you strategies to be consistent with your fueling. So it's not just for the 16 weeks and just specific to this training, but you're learning how to fuel based on whether you have a rest day or a rest week or a heavy training day or a performance challenge or a race coming up. I teach you all of these things in the program so you are able to carry that forward, whatever you're doing after that 16 weeks.
Yeah, and just to add a quick point, it's not only the nutrition, I'm going to show you how in a couple of slides, it works in conjunction with your training, meaning we're looking at the kilojoules you're burning in training, your nutrition program is adjusting for things like that. We're going to explain how in a moment. But also it adjusts for you. The nutritional needs of a 22-year-old male and a 58-year-old female are going to be two different things. The program is scaled to that size. We always get that question. We teach you the fundamentals of this fueling, and I already see the question coming up. I'm interested in losing a few pounds. Will this work? We'll teach you the venue of doing that. But losing a few pounds while training is more complex. Like, you absolutely need to understand the interaction of the two things that Namrita and I just were talking about, training and nutrition. If a lot of times dieting, I'm using that word, and training actually gets you in more trouble. You need to understand. And we do help that process and teach you how to do it right. Strength training. Menachem is our strength leader, but strength is very popular right now. We have a lot of people going through strength. So we've actually brought on a second strength coach, and Lori Thompson. Lori was a strength coach for EF. She is a PhD candidate and working towards that. She is an amazing strength coach. So the combination of Menachem and Lori really give us an excellent strength program. Our strength is a periodized approach, moving from functional strength into strength resistance, into power and explosiveness. And then at the end of the program, it moves into a maintenance mode, which carries you into your spring load and sets you up for the summer. It's integrated with your training. Again, I write the training plans, Menachem and Lori write the strength plans, but we work together extensively to make sure we're periodizing together and they're meant to support each other. Finally, we have mental performance, like how resilient, how mentally tough, how can we complete events? Do we have anxiety? All of those things, right? That are also part of your game. Not just, we tend to think about mental performance as, can I race my bike? Not at all. How do you stay motivated in your training? How do you stay focused on your process goals? How do you achieve your process goals? Things like that. That's all part of it. Even down to the point, how do we balance training and life stress and make that work a little better? If your mind isn't really into the training, it's pretty hard to do and continuing to go forward. If you can balance all of these four together, it's pretty powerful. So that is really what we talk about, a performance ecosystem. We are working, your training, strength, nutrition, and mental performance are all blended together in a program led by experts. And again, we're all the people you just saw and the coaches that do the program. We're training along with you. We're talking to you every day. We're, chatting through everything, things like that with you. And we're coaching, and we're going to talk about what that means. Now, how community coaching, how group coaching works. Well, let's understand this. Let's do a little technical dive. Nobody said my favorite word, like maybe you're nerding out on things. I love to nerd out on things. One of the other things that I have done is I am the Training Peaks WKO product leader. I've been leading the R&D development in that Training Peaks field for a very long time. If you're using performance management chart, TSS, if you're using a lot of these metrics, I lead the team that develops that and have been part of it. Oh God, I don't know, 20 years now. It's been a long time. So Training Peaks is the hub of everything. As part of your experience, you get a premium Training Peaks account paid for. If you currently have an account, we upgrade you to premium. If you don't have an account, we get you one. The Training Peaks account is the hub of all of the data. We load our Training Peaks program in there. So your on the bike training is loaded in classic tiles and examples. Probably most of you use Training Peaks, so you're a little bit familiar. If not, we walk you through. We have excellent support for all of these things. For strength training, we use Training Peaks' new Strength Builder, which is awesome. It's probably one of my favorite upgrades Training Peaks has made in the last couple of years. The Strength Builder program, I should have it on here on the screen, but I don't, but I should. You see a view of the screenshot here, but it's a great app. It's on your phone. It's easy to click through, execute your movements, watch the video, click off that you did it. Sometimes click off when you even didn't do it. Nobody really checks. So you have your training and your strength training side by side in your weekly and monthly and 16-week calendar. Hexus is Namrita's program, and not Namrita's program, but we partner with Hexus for nutritional guidance that reads your Training Peaks. That's how it's scaled to you. If you did a workout that burns 1,500 kilojoules today and one of work, and one tomorrow that burns 150 kilojoules of work, it's adjusting your calories and macros and things like that. So it's telling you, it's guiding you through calorie, macro intake, fueling that workout itself, and more. Anything you want to add to that, Namrita?
Yeah, well, the key in this is, many of you are probably familiar with nutrition apps like MyFitnessPal, and those are nice to if you're just tracking and logging your food. The key with Hexus is it is predictive, or it's forward thinking. And so it not just gives you your targets for the day, but it periodizes it based on what time of day you're doing your workout. So if you're doing it first thing in the morning or after work, and it delivers you the optimal nutrition plan for that day. And you can log as you go. And if you do, it knows that if you underate at breakfast, it's going to remind you later in the day that you need to add those carbs again or that protein that you missed. So at the end of the day, you've hopefully hit your targets, and it's dynamic, it's individualized again, like it's for your calorie needs, it's for your protein needs, your carb needs based on your training. And the best part of it is it's dynamic, and this is the way that nutrition is going, and we are we used it last year as our first year, and this year it's come a long way. And I think people are blown away with how useful it is now and how much easier it is to plan nutrition and to actually optimize it with your training. Not every day should be the same, and this makes it totally accessible for everybody, no matter what their goals are and their training looks like.
12 teams in the Tour de France used Hexus in training, this combo, exactly what you're looking here. Because Nemrita said so key, it's predictive. It's looking at the whole week. It's looking forward and backwards, watching what you've done, watching what you're going to do, and constantly balancing out to you, the individual. Hexus is free during BaseCamp. It's part of your one. We try not to have like a whole bunch of other costs. We just put it under one roof. Everything is included. So everything you're seeing here is included. There's no additional cost. And we have a cost slide coming. We also, through this program, run a series of challenges. I'm going to talk about what those are a moment. Again, they're loaded, they're timed into your training and stuff like that. And what the challenges are, each 16-week cycle. So we break down into 16-week program. We break down into 4-week cycles. Each cycle ends with a performance challenge where we're leading you through prepping for an event. Because if we don't practice our event performance or our race performance, we don't get better at it. So each cycle ends in a challenge. Each challenge is a progressive learning experience on how to compete, perform, complete your event, whatever your goals are. And you don't need to be a racer. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you later that I think a very small amount of 25% of our people, 22% race. But by learning these performance tricks, you just get better at training, at riding with your friends, or whatever it is. We then form community. We handle our community in Circle. It's private. It's it's not a social media. It's a private hosted platform by us. It's a place we can talk about and share and share learnings and what we're all going through and community and all kinds of fun stuff. It gets pretty crazy, and not have our information and data shared in other places. And we can kind of keep the communication amongst ourselves. There's a lot of energy in that community. We share calendars, events, workout reviews, workout previews, coaching questions and answers. Everything is in there. It's great. We also have a private section in our webpage. It's called Locker Room. You can see some of it now, but it's really, you probably can't get into any of it because it's members only. The Locker Room is our central communication hub of how we post everything we do. You see an example here. I'm going to show you the next slide, but Namrita and I do a weekly coaching podcast where it's an interactive podcast. We do it with you. Like you can come on and just answer us questions. It's for our group. It's in here. All of the resources, everything we do, whether it's workout previews, reviews, whether it's learning, we call them toolboxes and nerdcasts. So toolboxes are like performance tips and nerdcasts are like deep dives into science and stuff like that. All the stuff you can find here in the Locker Room. So if you can't attend live, which is pressure sometimes, people are like, I can't attend. We record everything. You can go back. It's in chronological order. It's referenced that way. You can just find what you missed and watch or participate in it. We have live coaching in this sense. It's virtual live coaching, probably is a more fair word. Every Friday at various different times, Emery and I host a meeting. Actually, it's just like this. This is how we record it. You can come on, ask questions. You can interact with us in those meetings. And we have a little bit of format. We review the previous whole week. We look forward to the next week. But then we really just handle all Q&A. So if you have deep coaching questions, easy coaching questions, whatever, you come on in, you ask. But we also know that you can't always attend, so we have a pre-submittal. So if you submit your questions in advance, we also will cover them in the podcast. But that being said, all of our coaches are monitoring the community at all given times. If you have a question at any given time, put it in there. You'll be surprised how fast you get an answer. And your other alumni and different experience members training along with you might give you some thoughts and opinions too. It's pretty cool. Almost home. How do we gather and train? This is a question we get a lot. It really is the core fun of our program. Maybe type 2 fun, but fun. So we get together and we train together. Now, I want to be really clear. You can train on your own or you can train with us. The program works. There's tons of ways for you to execute it. But we have And everything we do together is almost everything we do together is coach led. So we have coach led big group workouts. These execute on Zwift. There's usually, I don't know, 200 to 300 people in a workout. It's open. The group workouts are, something that anyone can attend. You could just jump in at any given time. They're listed on Zwift. You can find them there and jump in. Those are very motivational. Like you're with a bunch of people, we're always having fun. And everyone's coach, we have two coaches in each one, like myself and Rebecca Rush. Rebecca's one of my athletes. We run the 10 a.m. Namrita and Tina Hart runs the 5:45. I can show you the times. We have a 7 a.m., a 10 a.m., 12 noon, 5:45, and a 9 p.m. kind of deal. So there's plenty to jump in, but you don't have to jump in to make the program work. That's just one way to do it. We also have private coach-led meetups where one coach will lead a smaller group. So if you want to jump in and work with a coach, or maybe there's a topic you want to discuss with that coach, or maybe it just fits in your schedule, right? It could just be jump in and have fun. You just jump in, work, into the private meetups. We also have occasional, what happens, we have so many great alumni. I even see one here. Joe Pomeroy leads one of our weekend rides. He's been a longtime BaseCamp member, but he's just organizing his own meetups. So it's the only reason it's not coach led is you all are figuring out your own solution and just getting together to ride. We have our challenges, the 4 challenges I just talked about. That's really great way to challenge us. One of the things that our challenges are meant to do, and we do them together, like hundreds of us. It's a key challenge event. It's meant to get us out of our comfort zone. We don't drive the challenges for like who wins. We have great prize packages and stuff like that, but it's not driven by winners. Like if you complete the challenge, you go in the drawing to win the prize packages from our sponsors, and they're pretty big and cool, actually. I'm hoping to win one someday. But they're really meant, and we segment these by your fitness level so that people of similar abilities are executing the challenges together. And each one will teach you something to improve your ability to compete. But we also have a lot of solo structured riding. Solo and riding on your own is important too at times because that builds your resilience. It's nice to lead into the motivation of a group, but if you get that too much and you're not really working through some of the tougher workouts on your own, that'll really build a little resilience. And then, of course, you can just go outside and ride your bike. You can jump on the trainer. You can execute this on Zwift, Training Peaks Virtual, any other virtual program. You can go outside and execute it on your Garmin. If you're lucky enough to have that weather, you could just run it on your trainer with your Garmin. You don't need anything unless you're doing the group meetups, because then we all need to be on the same platform. And Rita, how do we gather and be social?
Yeah, I think this is one of the most fun parts of the program, and everything we do again is part of the community, and um, this includes learning. So we have a series of webinars that are specific to the different areas, so training, nutrition, mental performance, strength, and then we also have a series of coach roundtables. So we'll invite other members of our coaching team who come together to offer. It is actually incredible when you think about it. Every time we do one of these, I'm like blown away at how much experience we have, not just, from the coaching, but also from racing. And look, we have a women's panel, we have a fast over 50 panel. And so we have all these discussions where we poll you. We want to hear what you want to know. And then we bring in a bunch of expert voices who can share their experience, give you some really quality information from a trusted source. And then we also, after these challenges that are super fun, I hope if you join us that you do all these challenges because it's very cool what you learn, but then also afterwards we hear the stories. So we hear the stories from all the groups, and Tina Hart leads those happy hours, and it's actually the only thing that we do together when we gather and share that's not recorded. So you have to attend live, and it's just super fun to hear everybody's stories from the day. Yes, we're doing them on Zwift. There are some outside options, but you'll be shocked at like the stories that even develop from like racing and challenging yourself on Swift. It's pretty cool. And it really gives us a chance to connect with each other, which is more powerful than you would think, just getting to know and make friends and teammates. And, now we kind of have this like in-person extension where, we've met online and we do the same thing outside. So it's awesome.
One quick question just to tackle. Uh, Somebody asked an excellent question. For all these group-led workouts and meetups and stuff like that, do we all follow the same power output? No. Everything is scaled to you. So you can just keep saying that. We made the whole program. So if it's, and it does, we have some FT or functional threshold power testing. You set that in the system in Training Peaks. You set that in whatever system you're executing on. We always ride in a band. All of our group workouts are banded, meaning we stay together. The computer will keep us together. But if I have an FTP of 200 and Namrita has an FTP of 300, we are doing the power that is required of our individual capability to execute the workout. So it's scaled to our fitness, our power outputs. So it's personal to me, but yet we don't ride away from each other and just end up spreading out on the road. We move as a pretty big blob and we have lots of fun in that blob. So that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. Okay. What about the athlete experience? Where does this all come out at? If you could read one thing, and I have the link down here, just go to joinbasecamp.com/stories. And you will read live stories. Like people submit them. These are our alumni from things they're doing this summer, events, their accomplishments. To be honest with you, it's everything that makes me love BaseCamp, because you just see, because we think it's about racing, like everything is race, and there's some racing, but it really is just about being the journey we're all on of like just being a better me, right? Being a better performer, being a better athlete, being a better person. Like, and they're telling that story of the ways they might have got each of us, getting out of our comfort zone, trying something new, growing, and telling the story. If you want to see where BaseCamp works, go in and read those stories. Look through, read at least 3, and you'll get it. It is a very powerful thing. For the athlete experience, who is in BaseCamp? Well, one of the things, Namrita touched on this earlier, 61% of our new customers return to BaseCamp. It's a staggering return rate. You see all the alumni in this meeting. I can tell you there's 3 or 4 just by watching the names flash through who've been here for 4 or 5 years, do the same keep signing up. The program changes every year. It's dynamic each year. And again, this year, all new training plans, all new training program, the whole thing is new. So that's an excellent testament. So we like to put that out there. When you look at what our people are doing, 48% are more focused on goals, 22% on events, 30% just gaining fitness. 42% of our audience is female. The average person's training around 8 hours a week. 8 to 10 is our most popular kind of range. And for age, I'm just going to say we're a little more mature. We tend to be in our 50s, like me. I'm soon moving on, but I'm still in my 50s, so I'll take credit for it. So that is who's in here. This isn't this hardcore racer. We have some of those. This isn't just beginners. We have some of those. This is a great place to learn and start because it's a supporting community. It's such a great mix. That's why it's train where you belong. Like that's what we want. And our experienced people share with our new riders. Our new riders bring in energy and joy, which sometimes invigorates our experienced riders, right? It is really a great part of the community. BaseCamp value. Let's talk about price. We had a couple of those questions already. The overall price right now, the early bird price is $499. We've extended that. If you saw the website yesterday, it said it was going to expire. We extended it to November 6th. So just know that you can still get that price. I can keep this really simple. Everything, your strength plan, your Hexus program, your Training Peaks account, your everything except your Zwift. If you choose to execute on Zwift, yes, I said November 6th, October 6th. Thank you. Everything is included in the 400. It's not monthly. It's not a subscription. It's just you sign up, you pay one time, you get everything that you saw. If you go to joinbasecamp.com/foundation or the winner, the group training plan page, scroll down, there's a whole list of everything you get in the program. For us, and this is what we want to do, this is value. So you think about our $499 for 16 weeks, that's about $125 a month. You get strength, nutrition, mental performance, expert coaches training along with you, leading every ride, every group ride, supporting the community, answering all your questions, all the things that you're kind of hearing about today. If you were to go out and hire an endurance coach, a strength coach, a nutritionist, and a sports psychologist, you'd spend a whole lot more. So a lot of times when you see those, people always say to me, that's kind of bullshit. Well, when you look at it, it is. So what's the catch? That's the question. Honestly, there is no catch. It's scale. How do we do it this way? We have 400 members in BaseCamp. We limit it to 400 members. If you're a one-on-one athlete with us, you can also get BaseCamp for free. That caps us at 500 members. That's all we let in. So the way we deliver the value is scale. We are using and leveraging this hub-based virtual technologies, communication through communities, virtual webinars. There are a lot of people on here right now listening to us. So that's part of how it all works. So we're just leveraging, learning, teaching, everything that we do. We're doing it in a scale that allows us to do it in a much more affordable format. And we can always take questions on that in the Q&A. Almost final slide. You are invited to join up. You can go to our webpage. I said we extended it. You can join now, or if you're still not sure, you can hold your spot because it does sell out. You can make a reservation for $25, or you can sign up for and just pay the whole payment. You got to pay in a couple weeks anyway. I think it's November 14th or November 12th. Your full payment would be due. So whatever works for you, go ahead to our website. You're going to get an email from Zoom summarizing this meeting, giving you some links to look through things, including this link. So we'd love to have you join us.
Tim, it says November 6th on the slide, but it is Monday, like in a few days. So Monday, October 6th.
I probably should correct that to October 6th. I struggled with the calendar, which I had to admit today.
I just don't want people to think they can wait and then be disappointed they can't get the early bird pricing, but it does end Monday, October 6th.
See, you just did it.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
You would think I'm the one on cold medicine. All right, let's jump to Q&A. This is kind of the best part. We really hopefully can answer your questions and get through things. I will tackle the first one. I'm going to read the questions out loud for the people recording so they hear them. I'm leaving on January 25th for a 3-month Southern Balkans gravel trip. Congrats. Jealous. Does it make sense to join your program through 125? Absolutely. If you're going to go on a 3-month trip, that consistency of getting in that many cycles will really help you go and enjoy your trip, because you're not looking to perform right out of the gate, but you're probably going to need to be consistent, get to your rides in every day, be moving around where you're going. So it would make an excellent choice of structure. You'll learn a lot too as you prepare. We have a lot of gravel experts, great way setting up, getting ready for your trip, things like that. I actually answered the next one already. Do we use the same power output and workouts, or is it personalized? It's personalized to you. All right, Namrata, you're the next one.
Hey, Anonymous asks, I'm concerned about the time commitment given the activities I currently do. How could one fit it all in? Swimming, cross-country skiing, weight training throughout the winter. So we get this question a lot. It might be the most frequently asked question we get in the program. It really comes down to priorities, right? So what are you training for first, but also what do you enjoy doing? And so I would say if cycling and training is a portion of the things you like to do, then choose a plan that is lower hours on the bike that gives you more time to do the other things like cross-country skiing. Weight training is included as part of this, so I would say just follow the strength program the way it's designed to fit with the cycling. If you're swimming, you have the other hours to fit that in. Again, if you have a lower volume cycling plan through us. We do give guidance on this again and coaching. So we give you kind of like the why and allow you to make your own decision in the program based on, again, your priorities. But it is a lot and we have a lot to offer. And I think that's why we have people come back every year because every year they want to focus on something different. So maybe your first year, you're not ready to do all the deep dives into nutrition. But then year two, you're like, all right, this year, this is my focus. And it's affordable enough that you can do that. You can pick and choose what resonates best with you at this time.
Great answer. Okay. Um, Adam asks, what are your suggestions on how we ride, train, prep over the next 2 months leading into December to get the most out of the 16-week program? So I would work backwards whenever we're talking about training and we think about progression and kind of where we are in this journey of fitness. We always want to think in a backwards format. It helps us plan better. The program kicks off on December 1st, 2025, then runs the next 16 weeks. So if that's when I need to be in shape, I want to use my November, let's just say the 4 weeks before. I want to be doing gentle aerobic exercise. Walking is great, longer walks, not shorter walks, longer walks, 60 minutes kind of range. I want to be riding the bike, but in aerobic. But what you really should be focusing on, simple functional strength and movements. You should be, body weight exercises. When we ride our bike all year, right? It's a very linear experience. Your butt's on a saddle, your hands on two bars, your feet are attached to pedals. You're not really firing a lot of support muscles. You tend to overuse large muscle sets. So what we want to use that November timeframe and functional movements is try to bring that back to life and rebalance. Walking, like I said, is a great way to rebalance. Walking takes balance and other stuff. You're not strapped to a bike. Functional movements, but I would not do too much intensity. Maybe 1 or 2 days going out and throwing down with your buddies or something like that, or just a couple of hard efforts. But I would really let that be what we call the rejuvenate and repair transition week. The 4 weeks leading into that, which is October, have some fun. I would, unless you're racing, I wouldn't structure your training right now really hard. That's the winter is when you really want to focus on your structure because that's where you're going to get your biggest gains. Ride your bike, have fun, don't chase watts, don't put a lot of pressure on yourself right now, but try to be consistent in October. If you're riding 4 days a week, try to get 4 days in each week and just get in the work for now. Do you notice how I slipped Susan's question in there? When does the program begin? I slipped that December 3rd in there. So December 3rd, 16 weeks starting. I'm sorry, December 1st, 16 weeks on starting that day. All right, you have John's question.
John asks, I missed some of the webcasts. Can training be done outdoors or mixed with indoor training? Absolutely. If you are lucky enough to live somewhere you can ride your bike outside over the winter, we highly recommend doing so. A good example, and I'm probably going to do this, is do the Tuesday and Thursday group rides because I am a ride leader and those are just too fun to miss. I'll do the challenges on Zwift with everyone. But then like Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm hopefully going to go outside if the weather allows. And yeah, it's wonderful. Lots of us do it and we recommend it.
You live where it's warm. I'm the same answer. And I think most people as a coach, I want you to, if you can get in 25% of your workouts outside, even if it's a little colder, that's a nice blend. If it's nice and warm, you can execute the whole thing outside. So we do support and we're always there to answer those questions and make recommendations. I'm going to tackle Jeans. This is a good question. Do coaches look at Training Peaks data and make comments? What is the level of coaching involvement in reviewing plan process? We do not look at data and make comments. We offer excellent one-on-one coaching services. We have plenty of coaches in the mix, ranging from Tour de France competitors down to strength coaches to a whole range. I think we have 7 PhDs on staff and stuff like that. One-on-one coaching will look and review. Everything is totally custom. But here's how we do it. And this works really well if you're somebody who really wants to know and understand your answers. All of the key workouts, Namarita and I do workout previews, but more importantly, workout reviews. So we'll pick select people throughout the program and we'll pull up their workout on Training Peaks and we'll do a short video review. And they're progressive. We kind of teach you how to learn, what am I really looking for? What's the execution cues? What's the stimuli? And what status is that creating with me and the athlete? What is the stress strain relationship? So we do that for every key workout, not everyone, pretty much everyone, I guess. And then you can watch that video and look at your workout and make your comments and your adjustments. You can always ask questions like, hey, I was really fatigued today, or I did this and I couldn't hit watts, or I was 20 watts over and feeling great. What should I do? And we'll tell you. Part of the way we make all this coaching affordable, and this really is the simple answer, we're not the admin element of that. Like, so if you want to go in and be like, oh, I need more, I'm going to add some extra intervals. We don't do that for you. You could say, should I? And we'd say, oh, no, that's a bad idea. Or maybe it's a good idea and we'll give you coaching, but you have to do the admin work to do it. That drags down coaching. Like, part of why coaching is such a challenging business and scaling it is you spend so much time on that admin side. So you do that admin work, you get all this great coaching, you keep up, watch the reviews, learn from yourself. You're honestly a more knowledgeable athlete when it's said and done, and it works great. Some people just want to be told what to do, coach adjust everything. We have one-on-one coaching for that. Works great. All right, Nimrita, you're up.
An Anonymous asks, I don't have Zwift or anything else virtual. Is that the only option? I have a mechanical trainer. Well, you can certainly use your mechanical trainer and also execute the training program fully outdoors. If you don't have Zwift or you don't have the smart trainer, you won't be able to do the or if you don't have Zwift, you won't be able to do the group rides. If so, you'll get Training Peaks virtual included with your premium Training Peaks account. So you could execute if you have a power meter and a device like a Wahoo or Garmin, I believe.
And all the workouts are convertible into heart rate or rate of RPE, rate of perceived exertion. So you don't have to do them in power.
Yeah. And so, that's the training piece. So if you're already training and riding your bike, you can certainly follow the program along. You just might miss out on some of the group stuff and the challenges, but there's so much more that's part of the program that you're only going to get, as part of the 16 weeks. And it's still highly worth it, especially if you're interested in optimizing everything and like pulling in the strength training and the mental training and the nutrition. So there's a lot.
Excellent answer. All right, Anonymous asks, I'm concerned about riding with a group from a speed perspective. I'm fine in a group, but I may not be able to keep up with others. So the group workouts that we do are virtual. They're online on Zwift or Training Peaks Virtual. We use either or. Training Peaks Virtual is free, by the way. You could execute all of this because we pay your Training Peaks Premium account. You get Training Peaks Virtual for free. You could do all of this on Training Peaks Virtual for free and not have Zwift or Rovi or whatever else you're using. So they're all virtual rides. All our virtual rides are banded together, so you always keep up. We are no drop. We train where you belong. We train together. So you just roll out with the group. Every once in a while, the virtual world goes haywire. I shouldn't say every time, but 99% of the time we train together. So we're out there with you and training along, and it stays as a group. You want to tackle Joe's?
Joe asks, when does Circle kick off? So again, we are using Circle for our community, our online community and dialogue. As part of the onboarding, which starts about 2 weeks before the program, so mid-November-ish, you will start getting a series of emails that'll walk you through how to join various things, including Circle. So just wait for that.
Next question I've got. I use Rovi, not Zwift, and I'm unfamiliar with Training Peaks. What should I do before a program starts to familiarize myself with your tools? Training Peaks is the only tool you need to get to make it work. you can get a free, just go to trainingpeaks.com and get a free basic account. It'll actually give you the first 2 weeks of premium free when you sign up. So you can see what's in there and just keep your basic account when the program kicks off. And you get, and it starts in mid-November, the onboarding, we call it, starts in mid-November. We'll link your account to ours. We'll help you get it all set up and running correctly. It will go to premium for free. All those things will happen. So just get familiar with, like I said, just get the free account for now, play around in it, use a little bit, connect it to Rovi. You can actually connect it, very easy to search out those instructions. We actually have them in our support pages, but it's not open yet. And connect it to Rovi, and then you'll be surprised how easy and intuitive it is. All right, I'll tackle this last one, Naomi, because I said it, and I should have said it when I said it, so I felt bad. I saw it come up in chat too. One-on-one coaching comes at an added cost. It's not really an added cost. If you want one-on-one coaching, we have excellent one-on-one coaching. It starts at $289 a month. And all of our one-on-one athletes can participate in this program for free, guided by their coach. Then they would, for $289 a month, they get the edits, they get the elements, they get the pieces, and a coach guiding them daily through the process. But that is, again, I wouldn't quite call it an added cost, because it's an other way. It's a different cost. Or you can do it in the $499 way, $125 a month, going through BaseCamp and learning and keeping up with your own elements. And it really comes to how you like to work. If you're someone who enjoys kind of being a self-coached athlete, but at the same time having structure, having guidance, having coaching, having every question you ever might have answered, and you still have to do a little bit of your own admin work, that works great for you. If you just want to wake up every day, execute the workout based on the coach's adjustments or anything else that they've done, you don't want to have to do the learning or get engaged at that level, that's great too. We have that. If you look in chat, Kathy Watts, who is our coach director, she put a link that you can set up a free consultation to find out what's right. You could always use that. Anybody who's looking right now, if you're not sure, talk to Kathy. I should have put a link out for that. You can get a free consultation with her. She just put it in chat. All right, in closing, and then let's just say goodnight. I appreciate everybody's patience. Here's the page. So you go to /foundation. You can join now through the join now button. You can scroll down. You can look and learn about the program. You can, if you're not sure and you want to decide, book a free consult with Kathy. She's awesome at it. Really will give you great guidance and explain to you, is it one-on-one coaching or BaseCamp that might be best for you. You can sign up now. This is a message to this live webinar. Here's some of the other team members that are in the group. Here's the price list. Everything is included. We do have some optional one-on-one things. We do get together live all the time, as you're going to learn. We do camps and skill weekends and things like that. We have virtual bike fits that you can do, but they're not required or needed for the program. Strength, all types of great stuff. Everything's in here. You see a lot of included, I guess. So it's a long list of included. We'll take it. If you want to look at how the schedule plays out, you could read more about the schedule. Just click in. It will launch a little overview, like when are our group workouts? What are the type of things we do? What is the rough schedule? It'll probably change a little bit. It's generally pretty right. Just every once in a while, we have to tweak a day or two here as things get there. So you could look at that. So plenty of information can also be found on our site, including all the dates, costs, things like that, that are, you always find all the dates right up top. Yeah, somebody just said about the challenges. The challenges are in that schedule. So you could look at the challenges, like it'll say challenge. It'll tell you the weekend it is. So you'll see different challenges. Every 4 weeks, we do a challenge. So all of that is in there for overlay. We're going to send you some of these links too and some additional information after this meeting. All right. Did we get all the questions?
Yeah, quick plug for our latest podcast episode. We discuss a lot of the pros and cons or the benefits of both. And maybe if there's downsides of both group coaching and one-on-one coaching. So if you go to the BaseCamp community podcast, Tim and I discussed this last week, and it's pretty good. You can get it on Apple or Spotify, and then while you're there, subscribe and listen to some of our other content. We have a lot of great episodes out. If you want to learn more about our coaching approach and are just kind of interested in what we're doing, check those out too.
Yeah, and the podcast, when BaseCamp starts, goes private. It's for members only, the coach casts and the things like that. Then we go public again in the summer. Awesome. Well, I hope that helps. Please feel free to take advantage of any of these. Email us questions, whatever you might have. Do a meeting with Kathy, probably is the best answer. If you're not sure, she is definitely the best at helping everybody. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye. Thanks for
Bye now.
coming.